They said it was too clean to be dangerous, and too efficient to be banned. But in 2026, the Cummins X12 found itself at the center of one of trucking's most controversial debates. A mid-range diesel engine designed for the future, suddenly labeled as a threat. And here I thought the most dangerous thing about a Cummins was losing your wrench somewhere deep in the engine bay. In this video, we're going to break down the real story behind the Cummins X12, why it's a marvel of modern diesel engineering, why some states want it off their roads, and why 2026 might be your last chance to run it without restrictions. Stick around, because the deeper we dig, the stranger this story gets. Act 2, the engine and the controversy. The Cummins X12 was designed to solve a problem. How do you give heavy-duty truckers the torque they need, the efficiency they crave, and still keep emissions low enough to meet future regulations? At just 2,050 pounds, this 12-liter engine is one of the lightest in its class. But don't let the weight fool you, it delivers up to 500 horsepower and 1,700 lb-ft of torque with a fuel efficiency rating that turns heads in the industry. And that's where the trouble starts. Because when an engine is this efficient, it threatens the narrative that only electrics can meet future emissions goals. The X12 uses Cummins' advanced single-module after-treatment system and variable geometry turbo technology to keep exhaust ultra-clean. Some environmental regulators worry that keeping engines like this on the road will delay the adoption of alternative powertrains. Translation: the X12 might be too good at its job for its own good. Imagine being banned from a cooking competition because your food tasted too perfect. Several states, particularly those adopting aggressive zero-emission mandates, are moving to phase out the registration of new diesel-powered trucks after certain dates. And while the X12 is technically compliant now, the ban movement is more about the type of fuel it uses than the actual emissions it produces. But here's where things get even more interesting, because the real fight over the X12 might not be happening on the road, it might be happening in boardrooms. Industry insiders claim that large-scale fleet contracts and political lobbying are driving these bans faster than consumer demand. Electric truck manufacturers are heavily invested in pushing the idea that diesel, no matter how clean, is outdated. And the Cummins X12, it's living proof that diesel can still innovate and compete in a green future. It's kind of like trying to convince everyone CDs are obsolete while a brand new album drops that sounds better than ever. For many truckers, the X12 represents the sweet spot, lighter than a 15-liter, more powerful than an 11-liter, and cost-efficient for regional and vocational applications. It's a workhorse that can handle everything from heavy hauls to city deliveries without breaking the bank on fuel or maintenance. But here's the reality: 2026 could be the final year you can buy and operate a new Cummins X12 in every state without restriction. After that, patchwork regulations could mean limited resale value, higher registration costs, or outright bans in certain markets. If you've been considering this engine for your fleet, or even your owner-operator rig, the clock is ticking. And if you think the X12 is the only target, you're in for a shock, because the list of diesel engines on the chopping block for 2027 is longer than you think. The next name might surprise you, and it could change the trucking industry forever. So, should the Cummins X12 be banned, or should it be celebrated as one of the smartest diesel designs of its generation? Let me know in the comments. And if you want the inside story on the next engine in the crosshairs, make sure to subscribe, because what's coming will rewrite trucking history.